All right, guys, Sam here with you. It's Friday, the 4th of January here. We're going to finish up. This is by request here. This is a bit of a follow-up on a trade that we had analyzed, a video. I did this for members, but it was also on YouTube back on November 30th for Link to Bitcoin. Now, part of the reason, if you were to go back and look at that video that I posted on November 30th, that we were interested in this was one of the few cryptocurrencies that was actually moving contrary to the relentless bear movement that we'd seen across most of the majors. Now, this is not an insignificant project. If you're not familiar with it, I would encourage you to do a little due diligence on it, learn about the project. So I think with that, you might understand a bit why this is moving unlike so much of crypto. So I'm just, as I outlined it on the 30th here, it's just I can't make this stuff up, right? I literally couldn't script anything better. Now, look here. So we had off of this low, and we had a long, but we did get a clean finish in 5. So up from that, off of that low, we get a nice 1-2, and it's technical, right? So this, again, you can always go back and watch that video. Oh, I've got the wolf range on here because I wanted to show you that. So bear with me a second. We'll just go through these. So we come 50 to the tick, rip right second target, actually get to the 4th target. All right, so clearly we had a wave 3 underway. So this just perfect textbook entry here. 1-2, then we go into a 1-2. There's the 3, 4, 5. So we have just gorgeous looking trading. It's very technical here. So we wick off the 1, right? We want to pay attention if we're going to get an impulse. So from, this was all good here. Right? So we get to between the 33 and the 38.2 and the 50. Then we get up. Now we're a little shy of target. Nothing to be alarmed about because you have additionally other swing relationships to measure. So a length of the 1 projected from the 4. All right, so both of them were just shy of getting that algo target. So we had the 2 to the 4. So, and I think I went over this, right? So we had this beautiful confluence up here, and we get just shy of it here, just before we start down. Now, on November 30th happens to be right here, just after this little corrective. Well, here's the chart that was posted here. So this is the day. This was underneath the video for members, right? So this was one we were looking at saying, there's an opportunity here. So here was I don't know why this is in white, but it is. But anyway, so for 1, 2, 3, we were sitting right here, right? So we had all of the ingredients, and the key to it, the tell, was that we had the 5 waves here. It's just clear as a bell. The beautiful A wave. Now, you say, well, how would you know? Well, to some degree, you're operating on the premise that you've got a 1, 2, 3 because of that, all of the technical significance we went through there and just perfect wave relationships. But when we get the straight rip down in 5, that's sure there was a potential, just a straight algo play here, as we're between the 50 and the 618, but we don't get target here. So that's where a little Elliott knowledge can be really useful to you, because the 5, we're anticipating that it's followed by a 3. Now, while we have seen several examples of expanded flats of late, first, the fact that I've got a 5 eliminates the flat because a flat has to be a 3, 3, 5. So this looks like we're more likely setting up for just a traditional zigzag. So there's the 5, there's the 3. That was November 30th. And the implication was to anticipate one more move down. And we had this nice little confluence here between the golden zone and the 100% common for an ABC, for the C to measure approximately equal to the length of the A projected from the B, right? So we had a buy zone, low volume. The stop was below the 786 here, where we had all of this. We had this higher volume node here. So the anticipation was coming into the low volume node at the golden zone here, aware that the 100% was just below, and that we might look for the C in that range. Well, here's what we end up getting. So here's where we left it. So with this established. All right, so here's the ABC, here's what follows, right? So we get an absolutely, just couldn't be any better. So length of the A, now we know a B wave can go anywhere from the 50 to the 786. Now the 786 holds it, we come down. Now we don't make algo target again. So it's, so you look at that and you go, wonder why? So is it simply just strength? Is it strength of the market? this is a little tough to dig out because it's very choppy going down. I'm on a 4-hour, so it's a little hard to see it, but it's there. So we get now what I think more likely happened here if I open this up. Right, remember, you got to play these up and down. So here, when we've got an ABC or a 1, 2, 3. It looks to me like what happened here is we just came down and got that median line. So as we take the length of the A, projected from the C, right? So not quite to the 100. It looks like maybe the median line, right? There was some sort of a bounce there, but now we're right back to the golden zone. All right, so we get the ABC as the 4. Right, I think we broke it here. So this, we go swing high to swing low. Well, we're breaking the 50. If we look here, this breaks it from the 2. We get a slight break of the golden zone. So a little sloppy there, but perhaps just enough to tag the median line and then look at the reaction. Right, so this is where it's kind of a judgment call. What'd they use? Right, so maybe, right, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't think so. I think this looks more likely the 1, right? Remember, algorithm does not care about the Elliott count. So we're checking for pivots. What'd they use? Right? So your first thought is to be in sync with the Elliott count. Now, because we break, I go back 1. Look here. So golden zone, right? Algo target. Now, is that it? Or is it the all the way? Right? If that's the all the way, then we've just come, so you've got confluence here. So we have this little spiking action here. We had the wick come through, but you see where the body is. So if you kind of pull that over, looks like that could be prior resistance, some support. Yeah, it's a little sloppy down here, so it's a little dig at the 50, but look at that rip. So whether they used, you never know in the middle of it, right? That's the bitch of it. So you can just use these pivots based on what you're anticipating relative to the swing relationship. Safe bet when the 65 broke off the 2 that you'd go back to the dominant, right? So that gives us, this is to the tick. So my bet is that's what they used. So there, from the 4 to the 5, a pretty nice looking trade. So pulling that off, what does that set up for us? All right, so you go, oh, that's great. Thanks for showing me that. How does that help me now? Well, I understand that. So here we are. This is not a victory lap. I'm just trying to show you, how you can use this methodology to your benefit. So if that's done, and we don't know that that's done, all we know is that this could just be 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a kicker in the 5, could be done. Let's see, what have I got? A little divergence? Not really, right? So the oscillator peak is here. RSI is crushed, right? But they can stay up here, right? Last time we got up here, we've had some reactions. So that's all you can do is look back historically. Well, what happened the last time I got up this high? What happened the last time I got up this high? Now, that doesn't mean that we're coming all the way back down. But if you're, we can't quite call this done yet. Here, I'm on a 4-hour. Let's go to a 1-hour. It's just that you could go 1, 2, 3. It looks like maybe a triangle here, and we're into 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be done. Let's just out of curiosity, let's take a look here if this is technical. All right, so here's our 50. So swing low, swing high. Did we get it? Nope, we don't. So we don't. I was thinking we might have had a diagonal. So it looks like 1, 2, 3. Oh, A, B, looks like C, and then 1, 2, could be 3, 4, but looks like this is 1, 2. Let's see, it looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could be done. That could be done, right? So we don't. Right, I'm not suggesting we're done as in time to short it. What I'm suggesting is if that is done, let me go back to the 4-hour so we can get all that in. If that is done, then all we've done is complete a 5-wave structure. So, right, what follows that. So here we go. If that's done, and I'm not ready to say that's done yet, but if it were done, well, here's the next buy zone. Right, same thing you've seen 1,000 times. Right, there it is. Right, so we've got, that's interesting, maybe a little structure here off of this pivot. We have this one, of course. So this would be an area to be paying attention to. Something happened here. So if we're going to come down and we're going to work through this, and right, that's what we're looking for, and then off we go. So this could be just the one wave. We wait now, right? Again, we don't know that that's the pivot high. But so we wait for a more meaningful corrective action coming off of this swing, off of this 5-wave structure, and look for that subdivision here to be accommodating, to help us identify where, when we have the necessary pattern components here to set up the trade. Now, what's the level look like? What's the subdivision look like? Are there median lines there? I mean, right off the bat, this is not a typical way to draw these, but it's one to look for, right? So I've been doing this so long, I can see these by eye, right? So here, so if we come down here, that would be an interesting confluence zone here. So remember that in a set of median lines, the pivot here doesn't need to be below the start of it, right? This is, you commonly find these, right? So here's our potential target here. So if this comes down and we get this, look for a big A wave down here, boom, that's a trade you take, on the assumption here that you've got the right subdivision. Right? That's one worth waiting for, because we've got now patterns. So this is something we can work with, rather than trying to, shit, where is it? Or we're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the majors. Is that low good? Well, I'm not sure. Could it be? Here, it's just clear as a bell. So this is where you want to look for this kind of structure here, where we don't have to wonder about it. Oh, got it. Okay, got an impulse. I'm not worried about whether or not that's a solid pivot. Do I have a clear, clean, technical impulse? We sure as hell do. So this is one to be paying attention to. Now you got to look at that and say, well, shit, if I miss that, sorry, man, you got to wait for the halfway back, right? But it potentially, that's the reality of it. It's worth waiting for. So if this is one, that's just the beginning, right? So this, right? So if we're going to go into a true third here, right? There's no reason to assume we wouldn't. Right, if we're going to get a big 3 here, put that back together if I can, bring it down here. If we're going to get that as a big 3, and this is just 1, 2, and we're going up for 3, there's a home run ball sitting right there. We don't even have to get that. Bring that down here. If we got that, just out of curiosity, what's potentially there? Now, we're not there yet. I'm just saying, let's look, right? So why would you, my point is, this is worth waiting for, right? So you could, under the 65, 9.5 to 1. I'm not even quite getting there. I was assuming we get a little front run. I thought we'd have 10-1. Look, there's 10 to 1, right? So when you're in crypto depression, you're like, oh, nothing happening. There's no buy side. You got to look. They're there. This was setting up for us for this move. Over a month ago. This was just absolutely beautiful, right? So we come down, golden zone, right? That was the algo target. Under the 1, there's 7.5 to 1, right? And that was just off the 4 to the 5 to complete the proposed 1 wave, right? Nothing I haven't shown you. What are we now? 1,000 videos? I mean, close, right? I think I'm close to 1,000 videos. Right? Golden zone. There's nothing, pattern, price, trend, nothing terribly difficult there. Low risk, right? Clear point where you're wrong, right? You've got the structure here, and we take that out. I want to be out. Tags the 618, up we go, right? And that was, as I showed you here, right to target, right? Just couldn't. Again, I can't make this shit up. All right, guys, that's I'll wrap there. Okay, so just you got to pay attention. Look, right? So if you get 2,000 cryptocurrencies, not everything's going down. All right, I'll just finish up here with just a reminder. This is the last day of our New Year's special here, where we're doing the 20, 30, and 40% off of the 3-month, 6-month, and yearly. So if that's of interest to you, this last day we're gonna do it. Don't come to me on Saturday. I got to put a timeline on it. So that's available to you through the end of the day today. If you're thinking about that, now would be the time to do it. There'll be a link underneath this video if that's of interest to you. You can always write us or reach out to us on Twitter. All right, guys, everyone have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Monday. Later for now.